Y'all, the knives are coming out, and they're coming out for themselves. This one, you're going to love every second of it, because the sage from Louisiana, Mr. Donald Trump has done, James Carville, just came out against Jasmine Crockett. Y'all, I've been telling you this is going to happen, and I'm so freaking here for it to watch it in real time with you guys. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, because what we're about to watch is actively the middle Democrat wants to be winners going after the far left progressives, and Jasmine Crockett is about to catch it. Y'all, it does not get any more brutal than this. Again, let's have some fun. Watch this.
And Democratic strategist James Carville is calling out Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett just days after she launched her campaign for Senate. Carville saying the progressive Democrat is breaking a critical rule in politics. Happy to bring in Melissa DeRosa. She's a Democratic strategist, and Noah Rothman, senior writer at a National Review. We got to hear from Carville. We're going to bring him up. Let's listen.
Well, just the issue of Jasmine Crockett. First of all, she seems like she's well educated. Seems like that she's got a lot of energy. But she, to me, she violates the first rule of politics, and that is, in politics, you always make it about the voters and never about yourself. If you listen to her talk, it's a lot more about herself than it is the voters.
I know a lot of young people don't necessarily want to listen to James Carville anymore, but does he have a point?
He absolutely.
All right, before I get into the Democratic strategist who also tears her asunder, I want to talk to you about something really important. It's not about her, it's about the voters. Is that what you get from Jasmine Crockett? No. Even her campaign launch video was her staring off in a big beauty pageant shot of her while insults hurled at her by Donald Trump, calling her a very low IQ person, where she then brands herself as low IQ on accident and inadvertently, and then she, of course, deletes the video immediately afterwards because it didn't go over that great. But that's the whole point. It's about Jasmine. It's not hard to figure out that it was about Jasmine the entire time. Is it? You got your whole redistricting situation in Texas, and then all of a sudden you want to become a senator. It's weird. You didn't have a House seat easy anymore, so now you got to go to Senate. It's obviously about Jasmine Crockett, as she says, the JC way. Now, she's most likely going to lose, and she's most likely going to start her own little get-out-the-vote campaign in her own business, of which she'll get Democrat slush funds and whatever future Democrat administration for get-out-the-vote efforts in Texas, just like Stacey Abrams, just like Beto O'Rourke. That's what they do. But you have to understand, for him to come out and say that, that is the establishment older Democrat Party going after the new progressive hotness, which is going to be in Jasmine Crockett in this moment. It's also going to come from for Graham Plattner in Maine as well. You have to understand what's happening. It's the far left getting smacked around by the National Democrats because they want to win, and the far left wants to be ideologically pure. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. That's what you're seeing happen. That's why we covered in the Senate a little while ago, where did you want a small ultimate minority that's ultimately pure ideologically, or do you want a broad tent and have all the power? That's what the left is saying over and over again, which leads the Democratic strategist that you're about to see to say this. Watch.
Absolutely has a point. And it's not just that she's talking about herself, it's that she's talking about going in and lecturing Supreme Court justices as a U.S. senator, and she's using some inflammatory language towards Trump, which it's fine if you're trying to excite the Democratic base in some parts of the country, but it's certainly not going to win you statewide in Texas.
Okay, well, she was talking again yesterday.
All right, that's a Democratic strategist. I want you to hone in on exactly what she said so you guys will be in front of the curve, because this is actively happening. I've shown you multiple clips with multiple different people. This is occurring. It's fine if you want to get money in progressive circles in all these different progressive power centers, but it does not work in Texas. This is the crux of the problem for the far left progressives in the entire situation, why you are going to have a whole lot of popcorn you're going to consume while this is going down. Because the far left progressives are going after the money, going after the fundraising. They're going after all the high energy, high topic, flashy moments, but then they're going back into rural areas and real life areas, and they just do not resonate. It resonates in a Zohran Mamdani in New York or a Gavin Newsom in California. It doesn't resonate in Jasmine Crockett in Texas. That's what you're seeing, is the progressive versus the middle of the Democrat. Let's keep on going. They got some more clips. Guys, it's going to be a long few months. Let's go.
So I'm sure Carville was happy about that, right? Here she is on The View going after the U.S. Supreme Court.
When it comes down to whether or not they have to finally have some ethics about themselves because they are the only justices in this country that do not have any ethical guidelines, or whether it is literally that we just are bringing them in and we are going to like have a little conversation with the justices, that comes from only the Senate. Or when we're talking about confirming justices, if we're going to expand the court, or if we're talking about whether or not some of these bad actors that are in this administration, if they're going to potentially be held accountable, you got to have the votes in the Senate.
All right, my bad. That was Joy Reid. Maybe she's part of The View someday, but not today. Go ahead there, Noah.
I mean, even that exchange was self-indulgent. Why go on that forum unless you could say you're trying to appeal to the Texas primary electorate. I don't know what percentage follows that program. I bet it's probably small. Most likely she was there in order to receive the gratification that you would by basking in very friendly attention. Any politician who has statewide or national ambitions is a little narcissistic. Even by politician standards, yep. Her self-regard is astronomical. And to the notion that she's a very smart person, she's probably a very trained politician, but we know this because she is very well educated, and she had a very different persona when she was a much younger figure, not on the national stage. And that's gonna come out when she reaches a general electorate. People are going to ask, who is the real Jasmine Crockett? Mm-hmm. And I don't think we know the answer to that.
But she is a fresher face and a new...
This is the whole thing, guys. You want to know why you're going to win in the end, why 2030 is going to roll around and everything's going to change. You want to know why all of these things are going to occur. It's because you are actively grinding and voting like you're losing and grinding like you're losing, and you're working and you're saving the country. They are raising lots of funds for the progressive candidates to burn out and crash out in Republican conservative areas. They did it in Tennessee. They're doing it in Texas. They're going to do it everywhere. In fact, even in Purple, Maine, they're going to crash out with Plattner. That literally, that's what they're going to do. And as they do it, you can take full advantage. Put the throttle all the way to the floor, and that's the entire point. Dana Perino says something really important. Again, guys, let me know what you think in the comments on this one, because feedback's incredibly important. But I think we're over the target. Let's keep on going.
Nobody wants to move on from leadership. Leaders are supposed to move on to make room for the next generation that has new ideas, new energy. But because there's no place for our senior leaders to go with honor and dignity, I think people hold on too long.
Okay, so here's just a list. We can pull it up here for you here for how many members are over the age of 80. There's quite a few of them. How real is this feeling amongst the Democratic Party?
You know, listen, when I hear Michelle Obama saying that, I'm not really hearing her, say we should put some of the older members on igloos and send them off to sea.
All right, this is the important piece. You see Republicans and Democrats there. And yes, this is a problem. Having people of this age in a new digital world is not probably the most pragmatic thing to do, right? But what you're dealing with right now is that's not the point. The point of this episode is even Democratic strategists are openly calling out Jasmine Crockett, making it about her, not about the Texas voters, in a deep red district. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is going to be a fun time. Let me know what you guys think. Always open to feedback in the comments. Like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.